king of Leadway, Dave Ledoux.
We'll see Dave do something called the Lakamoon, which is a physical expression of your intensity. It's an ancient expression.
Well, you talk about
right now
ancient arts. I got you.
This is somebody winding themselves up and attaching themselves to the essence and the history.
It's really a spectacle.
It really is. But it has become part of his process to achieving the state that he needs to achieve. You can also hear music in the background, a traditional song, the rhythm of which will the rhythm of which will attach us all to the battle. And I asked so many people when I was in Myanmar, what's the name of that song? It's so old they only know it as Leadway song.
And you know, when you look at this and you talk about ancient arts, Taekwondo is an art where it teaches you to break against the limbs. It's one of the most inflicting, damaging martial arts forms there is. So Cyrus Washington has that ability as well.
Yeah, and his spins are incredibly dangerous. Dave will look to get into the clinch by heating up the outside range. He's going to be at his best slicing through these ranges.
And again, as Robin told you, each round is almost its own fight. As you see both these combatants going at it, three 5-minute rounds. 5 3-minute rounds, that is, excuse me, with 2 minutes in between, where you can really kind of compose yourself.
So I was watching a lot of what Cyrus has been working on and really putting together tight hand combinations, which would be very smart. There, Dave has been talking about in the clinch, trying to slice him up. Cyrus will kick from the outside, but as he passes through any range, or Dave passes through, Cyrus wants to open up with the hands, straight punches, hooks, and uppercuts.
Both of these men, you can see the strikes that they throw could put the other one out, and it's just... This is where you see them miss by just a little bit with head movements. Ledoux just coming over forward now with that overhand right.
Dave missing is a part of his game. He will miss and flow into the next thing, and the miss is actually a threat. You see it right there. His elbows will come threatening in behind that knee.
Let me ask you, his body art, is that
That is a traditional Leadway pattern, yes. He's so connected to the Burmese culture, and it is a wonderful culture. The Burmese people are some of the most special people I've ever met in my travels.
I would imagine that's one of the reasons that he's won them over as his fan, because his ability to go in-depth to the art.
And connect to it.
Big left hand there, and a slip.
He was hit. They traded shots there.
Ledoux, long, lanky, big kick to the ribs, just underneath that.
There's the headbutt.
Oh, yeah.
Tight.
Quick.
That headbutt creates the separation, and then he fires into the distance. The distance created by the headbutt. You'll notice, of course, no gloves, simple wraps.
Just a brutal shot. I mean, big, powerful shots being taken.
Dave again there threatened the headbutt now and used your response to open up elbows.
The other thing I see is when you lead with the right leg, coming over with the right hand, you don't see that as much. Usually one, then the combination with the other, you're seeing both from the same side of the body.
Very, very observant, my friend. And there's Cyrus now getting loose with exactly what he wants to do. Very observant. He'll use same side attacks a lot, and
spinning back fist just missed, just out of range.
And some of this comes from not just the traditional Leadway. And Leadway, the Burmese don't need you to fight, quote, Leadway. Leadway is a rule structure. You can fight with whatever skills you have within that structure. So that bit of Chinese martial arts adds to Dave's same side attacks.
Big shots inside. Dave coming over with that elbow, and then a front kick right up the middle.
Just drives it right up the middle.
Boy, both these men throwing some haymakers and some bad intentions, but you also see the control with it. And I wanted to ask you this, Robin, and JR, go ahead and comment about what you saw there and who you felt had the advantage, although there is no scoring.
Yeah, the judges don't play a factor in this. The rounds are not scored, so you have to win by knockout or technical knockout. If it goes all the rounds, then it ends up being a draw. So what I'm going to talk about in between rounds instead is, like you said, the action of what we saw. If I was in Washington's corner, I'd be saying...
Headbutt right here. Bink.
Yep. I'd be saying, use those hands a little more. That's what we've been working on. The 2 or 3 times that you opened up with your hands, you were able to score nicely. If I'm in the corner of Ledoux, I'm saying, more of what you did. That was a beautiful round. You fought your fight. You did exactly what you wanted. Let's see more of that. Stay within your flow.
So if you think about this, where Dave is now is the 4th range, where your foot will strike. The 3rd range being at the end of your knuckles when you extend your hand, right there, range 3. When you get in close where the elbows and the head will strike, that's 2. And then chest to chest is 1, and then chest to chest. So within those 4 ranges, Dave flows between them. Different angles, different rhythms, different sequences, and you see it all here again. And see, thread of the head right there. That is the thread of the head, and that opens up the elbow behind it. He's understanding how to put together the combination. Menu, yeah. And he's got a language. He's got a language with which he expresses that.
Rob, let me ask you this, and I've seen the video of Dave training where he's got the the straps on his head. Because, and I asked him about this, you have to find out where that range is, where you're not going too far in training, but to be able to train with that headbutt, strengthen those neck muscles.
Yeah, and it's just something other people don't do, you know, and you need to be able to control your head. That's what Cyrus wants to do, and there were moments of it. But the head, if it is a weapon and it is a target, it must be trained and you must become familiar with it, and you must not be freaked out when it happens. You see some lumps on the side of Cyrus's head, but Cyrus very focused. He's going to initiate here, I believe.
And the other thing is you got to know when to throw that headbutt. That back elbow almost scores. And then Dave coming back with that forward hand. Oh, nice kick to the body. And Ledoux coming up the middle with a couple combinations.
Cyrus with a few big punches.
Oh, yeah.
Cyrus is not going to just lay down. He's getting into his flow now. This is going to be a hell of a round.
Yeah, Cyrus talking a little bit of smack there, getting back into Dave Ledoux's zone.
When Dave threatens with the knee, Cyrus punches. Dave will identify that, and he'll start to use it to draw punches. But you be careful what you wish for. You draw big punches from Cyrus Washington. Cyrus doing a really nice job of covering up there, protecting himself.
Wait, and you got to, because if one of those sneaks through with full power, and Cyrus took a shot right there.
Uppercut to the eye socket. And again, it's one of the many variables that are at play here. With bare knuckle, the knuckles go into spots.
That might be it. That might be it. He's up. He's up.
He's up.
Are they going to let him continue?
I think he may have a broken orbital bone. I mean, we're not doctors, but you see these things many times. Once you start to...
No, but that's an uppercut that landed. It was quick, short, and powerful.
Yeah, and he turned the hip and he flowed through it. So
he's having a problem with his vision right now as well. You can see it. And Dave Ledoux smells the finish and coming in with a couple of forward shots, but maybe Cyrus playing a little possum.
Cyrus knows what happens now. He isn't injured, so a man will attack him. He knows that, and he knows how to attack within the attack.
Oh, big right hand by Ledoux, and then coming over with a shivering forearm. Headbutt. There's the headbutt there. You called it, then it happened.
Man, the audience is into it. Spinning kick coming. That switch there. Cyrus threatened the spinning kick and goes for the
spinning back fist.
Yep. Cyrus isn't going to lie down.
No, Ledoux coming over with those thunders, and he's got the really
cut again.
Yep, he's got that angle to come down with that crashing elbow. Ledoux's hand wraps have come off. They got to tighten those back up.
No, I mean, it'll depend on what the commission decides. In Myanmar, you would not see that.
Right.
But this is a commission, and a hell of a good commission.
What would they do in Myanmar?
They would ask you to wrap it, or they'd stop for a moment and tie it around your thumb.
Okay.
Or sometimes you see it'll just continue, and it'll just become part of it.
They want to try to make the correction as quickly as possible, which is what they're 100%. Doing. But at the same time, you're seeing Cyrus being able to kind of compose himself and get back ready to roll.
So, Patrick Marcial is very, very special as a corner. Just the right coach for Dave. They're both wild men, and they're both characters. So the fight can be stopped by the referee stopping it, or the doctor stopping it, or a man not answering when he's been dropped and he's getting the 10 count. And Cyrus was dropped.
Well, and I think when you were talking about his orbital bone, you may be right, because he's had, even with the time off that he's had to recover, Cyrus is having a hard time focusing and getting clarity in that eye.
Yeah, Cyrus is going to spin. He's looking to set up a spin right now, and that's a smart move. The threat of it even. But
another big uppercut by Ledoux, and then a big right elbow,
just flowing through it. And Cyrus fires back with a kick. But
boy, these two are just going at it. And Cyrus, when he kicks, he's got full extension and full violence on that kick.
Dave kick into the spin, and now elbow headbutt. And punches. It just comes at you from so many different angles, so many different trajectories, different rhythms, different timing, different weapons, different ranges. He just keeps pouring it on you.
And what I keep remembering that you said, Ledoux looks pointy. He's pointy.
Doesn't he?
He's sharp. He certainly does. And when you look at it, that warning came in 20 seconds before the end of the round. A bit of a difference from American martial arts.
Now, I have never seen Dave slowing down, but elevation is a real.
Oh, yeah.
You guys know it living up here. The blood, oxygenated hemoglobin has to get to your brain, right? It has, and your lungs. It has to. And it's different up here at elevation. So this is affecting Dave, but 2 minutes will help.
So the big difference that I'm seeing between the two, Washington is trying to plan and set an attack and being very almost methodical with it, whereas Ledoux, a perpetual motion machine. Every single thing flows into something else, be it his footwork, be it his body movement, be it a headbutt leading to the elbows leading to the headbutts. So Ledoux really handling business here just by virtue of the fact that he does not stop moving in with the weapon.
Yeah, but it all makes sense. It's a language, it's a vocabulary.
It's a symphony. Yeah. It's kind of a music you're putting down.
Let's see this punch here. I think they'll show the punch that dropped him.
Yeah, they showed it a minute ago when we were talking, when Jared was talking, but he comes up with after the uppercut, it's the overhand right that he follows with that has been showing the damage in this fight.
See, even a tiny thread of the head allowed that front kick. Then the punches, elbow to the body or to the arm, but it all flows out of it. If you think of it as a vocabulary or a language, they're flowing into the other one. Each word makes a sentence. Each sentence makes a phrase. Each phrase creates a story. And that Dave is telling a story here. Cyrus is still in this fight, but Dave is peak Dave LeDuc right now.
And when you're looking at it, you're looking at the story. You just saw the second chapter. What's in store for the third one? Because a lot happened in that round. You were able to see LeDuc come with the uppercuts and then the overhand rights and then the threat of the head. Washington with some good body kicks with full explosion and extension at the end and the ability to have some time to recover.
Yeah, the 2 minutes makes a big difference. It really does. You get 5 individual fights with the adaptations and the learning and all the information you've downloaded within these sacred moments of combat. You now have them at your disposal when you go out and you fight. But yeah, you see the reaction to his eye. The reason you immediately think there is damage, there's structural damage, is when he fell, it was falling from impact and pain. And this is an experienced man. It's not from the stun. It's from the impact and the pain. So, but he's done it before. He's taken damage. He's had breaks and micro breaks in the facial bones in the past.
Well, he may have another.
Yeah, he very well may.
And both combatants to the center of the cage.
It's in these first few seconds.
Ooh, big overhand right. LeDuc just crushing, hit him again over that eye. And Washington trying to conjure the ability to get back up.
And he's doing it. He's doing it. This is we use the term warrior real loosely. We've overused it, but that's what he is. If this man was born in a different era, he'd be on horseback leading his army into battle. That's Cyrus Washington. So you're going to have to separate him from his consciousness to win this by TKO.
LeDuc kind of smells the blood in the water right now and coming to impose his will. And you see the reach that he has and then the ability to get away from the strikes that Cyrus Washington is throwing.
If I'm Cyrus, I'm throwing now. Right now. So watch this. Right now. Now.
Yep.
Now we need to strike. Initiate. It's just very difficult to do. Dave has trained him to. Your brain runs algorithms. It's trying. Algorithm is if this then that. Well, his algorithms are overwhelmed here because if this then this.
Dove in with that headbutt right there as well. And when you look at, what's amazing about these two fighters, you see maybe perhaps the more athletic looking is Cyrus Washington, but you see how Dave uses his body for the attack. Yep. He uses it perfectly.
He's weaponized his entire body. That's what he's done. And the reason his body looks different is because every moment that could be applied, and Cyrus might spin here. Cyrus might spin. Every moment that could be applied to improving yourself as a martial artist. Look at the boot
big
on the top of the head. Look at the line down the top of Dave's head. That's from impact.
Well, and I'll tell you one thing. You touched upon it, and we don't talk about it enough here because we take it for granted. But there's a reason when the Broncos play, they say you're a mile above sea level because it is real.
Yeah, it really is, but it's affecting both of them. And whatever affects one, as long as it affects both. Dave will strike with the head here. And again.
Grazing right hand, then the uppercut. I mean, this is like an all-out fist fight brawl.
He is an artist. He is an artist. He's painting a picture and he's telling a story.
And it's a violent canvas as he continues to strike with those elbows. And you see them landing. The fact that Cyrus Washington is still upright is amazing to me.
It really is. But that's who he is. That's who he's always been. This is what his life has come to this moment. Everything in his life is built to this moment. But Dave is overcoming whatever he has, minute by minute, strike by strike.
How about LeDuc with his ability to place the kick on the thigh to get him to come back, and then he can spring forward?
He uses all parts of his body to attack all parts of yours. It's overwhelming.
Oh, Cyrus with a nice sweep there.
Yeah, good for him. Dave shakes it off.
LeDuc just kind of knows that his hand wraps are coming off again. That's it. Wow.
What's that? Round 3.
Round 3.
So if there was in their first fight, Dave, got the better of him. But history will say it's a draw. And Dave is thus far getting the better of Cyrus. But if he doesn't finish him, history will say it's a draw.
And he does not want, as we interviewed him the other day, and he talked about it. That's why this fight means so much to him. They've already fought to one draw.
Well, what we're watching here, of course, is martial arts, but that's two different things. Martial, meaning warlike.
Yes.
That's where Washington is right now. He wants that one shot, that one crushing blow. Arts, that's what we're seeing from LeDuc. He's painting the canvas. He's telling the story. He's being fluid with his motions. Both these gentlemen put it on the line for us, and each of them giving us the truest expression of martial and arts.
You see the combination there of that elbow coming over the right, and then that uppercut following.
The way it all flows together, and in here you'll see short headbutts to the side. Let's see if we see it. Yeah, and it's this side. But Cyrus strikes as he comes in. Good for Cyrus, man. It would be easy, and there's going to be a hole right down the middle here. See how he's creating an opening? And then, boom. See, turns the body fully. It expresses the punch with the hip, all the way from the feet through the legs, through the core, and out the knuckles of the balled fist.
And Cyrus was able to turn ever so slightly where that uppercut just grazed him, where if he doesn't move there, he's taking the full blows.
Good eye, brother. That is so true. These are the subtleties. These are the things at play when we observe and we mistakenly think, oh, what's power versus chin? There are so many elements, and that's the awareness that comes with 100 fights that Cyrus Washington has had. 100 fights of different styles with different tools and different weapons. That's what allows him to feel the reality of that fight and flow with it, and that's why he's still in it.
Well, you can feel that extra minute at cage side.
Yes.
You can feel that extra minute come in, and kind of a calmness in both fighters, they're able to kind of get back into where their thoughts need to go.
And you know where our thoughts need to go as well. Of course, we've been marveling at what Dave's doing. This is a wonderful performance. But Washington, this isn't a done deal where it's either a Dave finish or a draw. Washington can knock him out. He's learned information here, and these are the moments right here at this long middle distance, not quite long distance, not quite short distance. That's where Cyrus is dangerous.
Boy, Dave just missed with, again, that big overhand right elbow, and you'll see those kicks to the midsection, then the front of the thigh, kind of to gauge distance.
Yep.
But again, Cyrus Washington not out of this yet, still throwing big time blows.
Dave's weird, and weird is a good word when it comes to combat. Dave's odd and irregular movement actually helps him defensively. You see where he catches punches off strange positions. His head is not moving on trajectories that are familiar. His weapons are not moving on trajectories that are familiar as he flows his way through this story.
He's elbows and chins. I mean, that's how he presents himself to you, and everything you hit is going to hurt.
Yeah, and you mentioned his body. It is very different. He doesn't spend time trying to muscularize his body. He adapts his body to the fight. His body was created through martial arts, not weightlifting or running or whatever other choice we have, and we have many choices of how to build our athletic platform. He's built his entirely through expressing combat.
Now just throwing some big time shots there. Cyrus Washington's able to weather the storm so far. And Dave backs up and sees the position to attack, and he knows he's got him in trouble. He knows that eye is bad.
He's cut again, big on the forehead.
Oh yeah,
that's a brutal cut. The ref, the doctor's gonna have a look.
Yeah.
You don't see it from that angle, but man, his face is beaten up.
Oh yeah.
Dave wants to finish it.
And back at it. And there's that front kick to the thigh again. I mean, just an artwork. There's the headbutt up the middle.
The headbutt. And Cyrus fires back. If you think for one moment he's not dangerous, a wounded animal is a dangerous animal.
There's that kick to the thigh again that he uses ever so slightly to create an opportunity to go in and dive in with those elbows and punches.
Dave flows so there's another headbutt. Dave flows so freely. Fatigue is different for him. This is all normal for him. Look at the blood. That's Cyrus's blood on Dave's head.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're right above us in the commentating area right now, and you see the powers of those shots, and Ledoux going down and then back up with the uppercut.
This is exactly, I think, what people were expecting Letway to look like, and Dave Leduc has not disappointed. This fight is over.
That's it.
This fight is over.
Saw him do that, and I was going to refer to you, and when you see this, Cyrus Washington took an enormous amount of punishment, and I believe, like you do, in that second round is where I think he suffered an orbital bone break, but then he exploded over here with the cut, and Ledoux, the sharpness of the elbows and the strikes, and he just points to his elbows, really did the trick, Robin.
Look at his face. That is Cyrus's blood, and he'll go over and talk to Cyrus now. Listen, from this point forward, we're going to talk about Dave Ledoux, but please give some love to Cyrus Washington. That is a veteran of 100 fights who came in here and fought a young man on his game, and look what Dave did to him. Look, and if you see his face from the angle we see it, I've rarely seen somebody carved up the way he is.
Oh yeah, he is sliced up and he is swollen, and this is the reason why. Ledoux's coming in, he gets that two-step with him, and how much momentum coming in, Robin?
Exactly, he's creating force. So you don't look at Dave Ledoux and say, this guy's got crazy power. Power is not something we have, power is something we create. He's creating it through movement, he's creating it through flow, he's creating it through elastic expression, a relaxed expression of combat. That was one of the great performances I've seen.
He picked apart Cyrus Washington. Cyrus had his moments during the fight, but everything that Ledoux did led him to the next step, and you saw him starting to build, coming in with those huge elbows, and the uppercuts were the two big weapons in this fight, and that front kick that kind of kept Washington off balance.
Yeah, stay long, slice in, stay long, make you hesitate to come in, so Dave dictates how and when you come in. But look at some of these shots, and this is again a veteran of 100 fights, lost here, not certain of what's coming, and that is no insult to Cyrus Washington, that is a credit to Dave Ledoux. What he was able to do here tonight, he's still getting better, he's still finding that flow, and this is when the ref takes one look and decides, you know what, nope, we're done.
Yeah, Ledoux, you see him celebrating. We see, fans don't see this, but we see this.
Yeah.
I mean, Cyrus is having a hard time coming out of the cage. Is almost buckled as he came out, and you've seen him before.
Yeah.
He took an amazing amount of punishment.
David's wearing the World Lightweight Championship shirt, and shout out to that wonderful organization.
2 minutes, 40 seconds of the fourth round, declaring your winner by TKO, and the new Sparta Sports and Entertainment World Lightweight Champion, and still the King of Lightweight,
Dave Leduc getting the belt put around his waist. And Robin's going to head into the cage right now to do the post-fight interview with Dave after a superb performance. And I think some people that you haven't seen before, we saw something special.
Feeling amazing. The elevation in Wyoming is high. I normally don't get tired in the third round. So shout out to all you red blood cell Wyoming citizens. You're fucking animals.
Yeah, wow. When Letway was coming to America, the idea that Dave Leduc's face would be bathed in his opponent's blood at the end of it, I think is how people envisioned it. Is this how you envisioned it?
I could not have think a better, more worthy opponent than Cyrus with 120 fights. Respect to him. We have a rivalry together, but hats off to him. He's a fucking warrior, and I'm proud of what we've done, the show we put in Wyoming. Shout out to Sparta for making this happen, the Wyoming Commission. I did not think I was going to live in my lifetime. I didn't think I was going to see Litway on American soil. So,
well, man, it's not possible to have brought Letway a better performance than that was. You were artistic, you were flowing, coming from all angles. Did you feel like you were epic, you were prime Dave Leduc?
I have to say, I was very cautious of his craftiness. He's a fucking tough guy, so I was very cautious, but I managed to find holes. We had an amazing game plan, my coach and I. Sifu Pat, thank you so much for coming here. He's my mentor since day one, since I was 17 years old. Now 12 years later, we're on American soil, and I'm fucking proud. And thank you for coming as well here.
Hey, drink it in. Just take a second and drink this in. You did this.
I want to say thank you to all of you guys for coming here in Cheyenne, Wyoming. I'm super proud. And I have to say something, I planned it in my head. I don't give a shit who he offends, but fuck Bill Gates, fuck his mask, fuck his vaccines, fuck the World Health Organization. They can put their fucking vaccine in their fucking ass. Dave Leduc, ladies and gentlemen, the King of Letway.
Wow, certainly some words filled with some venom there, but I'll tell you what, when you take a look at an artist at what he does the best, while it may be brutal to some of you, it's an art form to him. And I was just talking about the brutality of the sport, but yet the beauty of the sport as well, when you weave it so magically like he did.
Yeah, you know, people have written books and poems and stories about combat because it is complex. Look, they're doing the Like a Moon together, the expression of your soul and your heart. And you see that. It isn't just elbows and punches and hitting a man with your skull. It is telling a story. It's expressing the essence of the ancestors. This is an art form that has progressed for years and years, and we're in the middle of it in America, in Cheyenne, Wyoming in 2020.
And there you see Sparta Combat League CEO Jeff Cisneros in the red jacket up there with Dave Leduc. And Dave saw this fight here when LT Nelson fought in it a couple months ago, and JR Gordon and I called it. And now I had the fortune of calling a world championship fight with both you gentlemen. And I had a great time. I don't know about you, but what your experience was in this card, Robin.
Just an incredible experience. You know, obviously Dave came in here and it's asking a lot of yourself to continue to get better and carry an art form into different countries, and of course he did all of that. But I've also been blown away by Sparta, by Cheyenne, Wyoming, by you guys, by everybody here. This has been a fantastic show, by Big Crazy Mo. And look at these guys, and you know, we can see the artwork here, and you can see it. Yes, violence is violence, but these are human beings who have dedicated themselves every minute of their life to these moments. They are free in here. And yes, Cyrus took a lot of abuse, but this is what he has trained his life to do, to come in here and show his heart and his guts and his toughness and his will, and he did that. This is beautiful. This is the ultimate expression of humanity.
I'll be interested to see what Joe Rogan and the Joe Rogan Experience talks about, because this is something he doesn't get to see. He gets to see world class in so many different ways in MMA. This is just another step in a different martial art presented a different way that is extremely violent.
Yeah, and when you mention Joe, or you mention, you UFC champions and Bellator stars, and you mentioned fighters from all these fighters want to see this because what will make a fighter go, holy crap?
Right.
This,
Absolutely.
This,
Ladies
and then
and
for Dave to
ladies
do
and gentlemen,
it
thank you
at
so
this
much for
level
coming out.
and do it
Please
night
drive
after night,
safe, and we will see you at the next show.
Game day
Thank you.
performer that's even better than he thought he would be. That is special, and this whole thing has been special, and I'm so humbled to have been here and been a part of it.
JR, if you can, a couple last comments from you, if we can get your mic up on the experience here tonight as we wrap things up.
Man, what a great night of fights it's been. You know, we saw the first left-weight fight on American soil about a month ago, and now we're doing world championships here. I want to say, everybody, thanks for staying with Sparta. Thanks for watching us. It's nothing but up from here.